Welcome to the Polishing Profits podcast, where we discuss all things related to the business of detailing. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is for you. In each episode, we'll cover topics ranging from business management to marketing solutions. Here to help you grow your detailing business, your hosts, Nick and Dustin.
Whoop, whoop. Let's go.
Happy Friday. We're here. We made it.
We made it. Another week, another 7 days have passed.
With this podcast being on these Fridays, I just feel like the weeks go faster. I think there's something going on. It's just insanely fast.
And Friday morning blows by from 7 to 11 is like that. Yeah, man. And it's awesome. We're looking forward to it. Got a good show today. Got good friends of mine, Tommy and Julia Trenton, with Nitpicking Mobile Detailing on, and we're going to be talking about transitioning from mobile to mobile and shop.
I think that's going to be something that's going to help a lot of people, because there's a lot of people either thinking, man, what if I had a shop? What could I do? What are those steps? What is it like for someone that's going through that transition right now? So I'm real excited for the show today.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, there's so many, the pros and cons to both. And, and there's a lot of detailers. Mobile, obviously, there's probably more mobile detailers than shop based. And so making that transition as you grow in business is, I think, inevitable in most cases. But we're going to talk about the ins and outs. Now, before we get to that, do we have any story time with Nick?
The story time this week, it's not a crazy one. It's just the one thing going on today, actually, is after the show, I've got to go pick up a car for a really good customer. And, there's that music. Thank you. It's just trying to figure out and seeing if, Dustin, maybe you've dealt with this, or if the audience has seen anything where when you've got to go, not out of your way, but you want to do a little bit extra for the customer and pick up the car. We're going to wash it, drop it back off. A service that we don't usually provide, right? When you go outside of your framework of your business. And how you sort of balance that, so that's kind of my story time. Not super exciting, but it's kind of something I had on my mind today. Wanted your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Like how much is too much, and
kind of,
at what point does it cost the company more than it's worth? Like the cost supersedes the value, right? Like we're above and beyond for certain customers that bring a lot of business value into the company, whether that be relationship wise. And when am I offering up services that are costing my company more than I'm getting out of the relationship? Something like that.
And I think the biggest thing is that snowball effect, right? Because you do it for one person. Oh, wait, are you going to do it for another? Who are you not? Who are you going to say no to, right? So are you going to end up doing a disservice to your business by offering something that's not in the framework that you could really handle?
And I think another good example of this, and I'm very guilty of it, is a customer will call me personally in an emergency. Hey, I'm in a parade this Saturday. Can you get me in today? And it's a good customer, loyal customer for years and years. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll get you in. Then they show up. The shop's slammed. Are we sacrificing quality? Are we overworking the guys? Or overworking the team? Does something slip through the cracks because of this? Because so like these things it's definitely a balancing act.
Okay.
But those relationships matter, and business is built on relationships. And I'm a believer in you figure it out as much as you possibly can, because those things are hard to replicate. You can't just spend $100 more on a Facebook ad and get those type of relationships and that type of business. Does that make sense?
And the crazy part is like, again, everyone as a business owner, you as a business owner, right? You've got a certain plan and structure of your day, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, I still got to get payroll done today. I got these other things. I got to be home for Parker at 3:00 on the bus. I have that like mental calendar. I know you're more of a physical calendar kind of guy.
Big time,
but I'm there saying, okay, hey, now I need 30 minutes of my day to go take care of this for this customer because it's a priority. And again, that long tail value of the customer is absolutely there. And you're going to go and, and you're happy to do it. But it's just an interesting sort of thought process there.
Yeah. And it's something that the business definitely has to weigh. It's definitely a cost at some point. Nobody does it better than my dad. He taught me really the value of relationships in business. He is a very much a build a relationship kind of person with the customer. And I'm like a numbers, and I mean, I have that, but I'm a lot more on the numbers and what's it cost. And so he taught me how, how the importance of that.
Yeah.
And so sending donuts and going by and just saying, hey, not always asking for the sale. So I think it's a great point. I think each business is independent and how much you should give. I don't think there's a number of 10% is what we, I think it's business independent, but what's right for your company. And
you know what's funny is the same thing you just said with your dad. Same here. It's the way I sort of see it in my head. It's always like a scale, right? Mm-hmm. And whenever you've got one of those relationships, especially with like a local business, a good friend that's in town that or a good customer, you're gonna be there. Like in my head, I got a buddy that owns a restaurant, right? I always try and wash his car. I'll shoot over, grab it, wash it, drop it off. He sends over food randomly. You know what I mean? There's a weird scale that goes on, and I always try and one up him.
It's a give and take, and you're trying to, right. And
I always want to give him a little bit
on
more
the other side of the gift.
Yeah, like again, taking care of my guys like that, like that's amazing.
We do the exact same thing. Yeah. A friend of mine was just on site. I'll keep it super quick, but Jeffrey is a guy that we send a lot of business back and forth. They do electronics and boats, and I said, anytime they get a boat dirty that we've already cleaned, they've been working in it, send it up here. We're not charging them to clean that boat. Like we're just going to do it. We're going to scratch your back, you scratch mine. We have a damaged something, and we can send it to him. He fixes it. He doesn't charge us. That's the way business works. And
it's the barter. It's the barter. I don't think enough people. That's a show in itself. That's a
barter system.
The barter.
Somebody I know that's probably gone through some of this stuff is Tommy and Julia. Let's
bring them in. Let's bring Tommy and Julia. Barter stuff.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Great. How you guys doing?
Been great. Been a long time, Tommy and Miss Julia, since we've had you guys on the show. How long has it been, you think?
About a year.
Has it been that?
I think the last one was MTE actually.
Mobile Tech. That's right. Yeah. That's right. But a little quick fact about Tommy. He was actually the first customer on Detail Booking.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Does he have a plaque? What'd you send him? You had to send him.
I don't even got a plaque. I don't have
got nothing.
I don't even have a plaque.
You know what? That just speaks to
you got a bottle of Gentleman's Jack.
Yes, I do. And it's
you still got that, right?
Oh, absolutely, I do. It's still sitting on my shelf. Matter. Is it behind here? No, he didn't bring it up. Yeah, it's on my shelf at the.
No, sure. Someone drank it already.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care.
What I was going to again from story time there, Tommy, Julia, do you guys do any bartering with other local businesses in your area there?
We do more networking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So and that alone is hard to find. We've kind of been let down by literally probably just about everybody.
What do you mean by let down?
Not like sharing their business and they share our business.
Yeah.
Type of thing. We've got one guy who is an RV detailer and we both work hand in hand. So, we get a lot of RV requests. We're like, we don't do RVs, but we got this guy, Naftali. He's been doing it for 20 years. Here's a picture of his card. We've always got cards on deck, or we just let him take a picture of a card, and then they always call him. Everybody knows this guy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they already know him. They're like, yeah, he's too busy. I'm like, damn, well, I want to get like that. But he helps out with that.
I think you probably are more than you know. We all know. I don't think any of us really give ourselves credit for where we are business wise and in our market. And I'm pretty sure you're probably the go-to. Another question we were talking about in story time was like things you do for special customers or to build relationships. How do you do like these, like a little bit extra for a certain customer that needs this thing or
every time?
Yeah.
Every customer, even if we don't know them.
Yep.
Even the older customers, like
small thing to something.
Yep.
Yeah. Little things like dressing the whole entire interior. You know what I mean? That's not on our standard, but I do that for every customer anyways, even though it's an add-on. So that whether they pay for it or not, we're still going to do it.
Yep.
And then random coatings like, windshield coating or coat the mirrors in the front grille and the bumper or something like that. If we have some extra material left over. Yeah, we always do.
It's those added value things that really secure a good relationship. And the question was like, when do you know it's too much, or when are you doing a disservice to the company by giving away things? But there's so much value. There's so much, like, it's not money, but it comes back, and you can't quantify it on a spreadsheet, but you can bank on it bringing you more business.
Yeah.
Well, I think the interesting part is it's sometimes outside the structure of your business, right? So just to use an example, let's say, Tommy, Julie, you guys had a 24-hour booking window, right? We got to be, and you're booked out for the day, and you've got a customer that calls you last minute, right? And you know the customer, they're a good customer, but you're booked solid, and you're like, man, I'm either working an extra 3 hours today, right? Outside of business hours, right? It's kind of like outside of structure for those special requests.
That exception, like to just keep the relationship. Yeah.
We do that even with new customers. Like, for example, if a guy needs his car coded and he's only in Florida until what's the day? Friday until Wednesday, then we have to call our customers that's adjust. We got to figure out, like, can we get you in on Monday? And then we can, with the new with a customer that we've had for a long time, we can move them around.
You can adjust.
They don't mind, you know what I mean? And even if it's not a new customer, we'll get that coding job in there because those are like, those are money.
I think that
but our relationships with everybody is already so good. We don't have to worry like, oh, they're going to be pissed off or they're going to leave a bad review. I don't feel important, and we usually give, if it's a new customer that we have to move, we'll put a discount code on their ticket or something like that.
Yeah, to make sure that they feel good about it. Yeah.
I think Chick-fil-A should open on Sundays for me. I think that's an exception from a business that should, like Sunday afternoon, just an hour, me and my daughter and Chelsea go down there and get a chicken sandwich. Come on.
I'm on that Chick-fil-A breakfast right now. That Chick-fil-A breakfast,
we stopped.
I didn't even know they had breakfast.
Oh man, that's
we have like a 2-month Chick-fil-A binger, man. Every day.
All right, we got to get to the show.
Let's get to the fun stuff here.
Appreciate your input on that. I mean, I think the synopsis is businesses do what they have to do to build the best relationships, because at the end of the day, that's where the support's going to come from. Now, let's talk about the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about, you guys are a mobile-based detailing company right now. In other words, you drive to you take your operation to every detail that you do, right?
Yeah, even if they say, can we bring it to your house? I'm like, nope.
Nope. You go to their house. You go to their work. You go to a parking lot. You go somewhere. But you're in a transition phase to where you are considering buying a shop, you are leasing or something along those lines. Is that right? You haven't actually like signed a contract or anything, but you're very close to making that decision, right?
We've done some research on like numbers and renting versus buying. Buying is not an option. Not around here. Like we're talking $325,000 down on $1 million property.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just started working on our credit last year. We spent like $20,000 on credit this past year and went from a $2,000 credit limit to a $10,000 credit limit in less than 12 months.
Yeah.
So
leasing, but what I was getting at is y'all are moving in that direction. Yeah. But lease is going to be the preferred method for your business and your situation. However, like when you think about that movement, like what are some of the things that you have to consider? Like, when you're changing the way that your business runs. Yeah,
it's a big change. Mm-hmm. It's kind of intimidating, honestly. I mean, I'd like to be next to somebody that's already dealing with cars, tenant wrap, stuff like that. Anything involved with a car that's clean, not like a dirty tire shop, with a bunch of used tires laying around all the time. But
you kind of create a captive audience situation where you're capitalizing on someone else's traffic in a sense.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're going to capitalize on mine too.
Oh, absolutely. It's a win-win.
So what do you think is that biggest hesitation as you guys are talking and trying to figure out to make that jump and figure out the right location? What's that biggest thing that's kind of like, let's call it the conversation ender, the pause, right? To be like, okay, hey, what's that biggest hiccup?
You want to go first?
Julia, what's keeping you from signing the dotted line right now today? Like there's the contract, here it is. What stops you?
I don't know, another $1,500 bill.
Yeah, so the rent, the lease, the finances.
I look at that. Go ahead. To me, the money isn't nothing. I mean, to me, I guess it would be all the work I have to do before I do that. Yeah, because there's a lot that she doesn't do none of the online stuff or the the graphics or the web design or the the business plan or any of that stuff. So I have to redo all of it, and it's a lot. And I might even forget some things. There's so much online that I'm probably even forgot about. I have like 80 listings that I have to make sure get changed. Like, and how I don't even know how to do that. Where do we even? I don't know. Like that to me is a big headache.
Yep. Anyone that's a detailer, right? Detail oriented, right? You're a perfectionist. You're working on these cars. You're trying to do so think of it. That translates to your business
everything
as well.
You
right?
do.
Everything you just said. Yeah. And sometimes, listen, even if you're only able to do it 60% well, but getting it open so you can start certain timelines so people can start going to your site, so people can start finding you and walking into your store and having that other phone number. And you see what I'm saying? So some of those other timelines can just start, even though it's not 100% perfect. And I could be wrong, but it's not, again, you guys, I saw your site. Everything you guys do looks phenomenal. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
And he does
a lot of her input too.
Yeah.
Her input helps with that. Like I'll drag her over here. Like, hey, come look at this. Does this look right? Or read this entire webpage real quick and find typos, Trust me, I've had some stupid ones.
What you explained there, Tommy, is something that I've been working on in our shop and or in our businesses. And this is something that we've all been a little guilty of, and it's paralysis by analysis. In other words, we think about everything so much that we do nothing.
All at once.
And like Nick said, progress is better than perfection every day of the week. A little bit, just get movement, and then things start to follow. And so when you think about like, I'm overwhelmed because there's all this stuff to do that I don't do anything. And so when you're in a decision-making mode like that and you say, well, I have to do all this stuff. Well, it doesn't all have to be done at once. You could secure the lease and still offer mobile detailing, which means that I don't have to change anything. I could just use that as my home base for the first 2 months or 3 months. Or only coding or something. So there's ways to kind of curtail that sticking point of, well, I've got to get everything right before I cut the tape. Maybe not. Maybe there's options,
Yeah, she said her one of her setbacks was like leasing payments. There's a lot more than just paying for space. There's insurance. There's a lot. There's more cost than just the lease itself. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in terms of just scaling, right? Because what you guys are doing you guys are making a decision, right? Could you guys add maybe another van, scale one side of the business versus saying, hey, I want to go brick and mortar? How are you guys sort of weighing that? Because I think a lot of people that listen are mobile. A lot of people are like, hey, I want to scale. I want to keep growing. That's what every business wants to do here. How are you guys making that decision between, hey, I'm going to build the fleet, right? Versus deciding, hey, I really want to consider going brick and mortar. What's sort of playing into that decision?
As far as scaling, we haven't even scaled yet. So before I could even scale, I have to fill, as of, I don't even know how many days, but as of the end of last month, we still had 49 completely open days. That doesn't count Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
And we had 67 days where we only had one car, and we could have put another second or third car. So we've got all that time to fill up. Wow, we've actually doubled our revenue from last year.
Yeah.
And still have all that time open. So we've got to scale. We got to get to our peak performance before I can even think about jumping into another van or something like that.
What Nick's saying, I think too, is how did you decide shop versus another van? Like if we're having what made you go, I want a shop versus I want 3 more vans?
The heat.
Okay, so weather,
the rain, the wind.
We're in Florida,
dude, the sweaty.
There was a real hot day. Tommy and Julia were like, you know what?
Oh God, that part. The soaking wet all day with the soggy, Raisin Bran toes. You know what I mean? Like I'm just tired of that. I want to be inside. My quality it belongs inside. I could do even better inside. So could she. I could last longer. I'm not going to be dead after an 8 to 10 hour day. That part.
So one of the decisions that led me to pulling off of mobile detailing a few years ago was controlling quality too. So if you scale outwards and you have more vans, that doesn't put you at every job. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's growing pains involved that quality related.
Right.
We were experiencing quality issues. So we brought everything in house to where our thumb basically was on everything that we delivered. In our shop, we saw everything before it got picked up.
Yeah.
All right. So quality in, yes, the environment, the conditions, but also quality is if you scaled outwards with more vans, that's other people doing jobs that you may or may not see.
Yeah.
That could have quality issues.
Yeah. That's another reason why I don't think I want to expand like with employees mobile wise because of that. Everybody talks about all our business customers that own businesses, finding employees, this and that. I always tell them, you have a problem finding good employees. I'm not going to have a problem finding good people. You know what I'm saying? We don't have one bad customer. So what makes me think I'm going to have one bad employee, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I hear you. But in terms of some of those other little sort of, let's call it obstacles along trying to get to that shop. The location.
Finding a location where I feel, where I feel it. I'm confused. Like I'm conflicted when I think about, should we just
do it in the backyard?
Just do it? Like, should we just, it doesn't, I don't know. I have a gut instinct. I've been through a lot. And a lot of the situations I've been in my life could have been avoided had I just listened to my gut instinct. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm using all those lessons to, I'm not going to lease from this guy. Like for example, his employee's been working with him for 30 years and he's never had a bonus. Now, do I really want to lease with that guy who doesn't even take care of his own employee? How is he going to take care of me? It's his building. Like, what if I need the power fixed tomorrow and he can't get an electrician out for like 2 months and I'm over here running a generator in a damn shop or something like that? So finding a location that's not out in the woods, it's not too much in the city, but like property, you know what I mean? Finding it is tough. Like, how do you even find a leasing property? I would be happy with just
the same question. How are you going about doing that initial sort of finding? Right? I'm telling
everybody. Like, hey,
we want
to have a shop. We want to, blah blah blah. Do you know anybody? Do you know of any locations? Like,
I think what makes it easier too is is identifying in your mind what the perfect place would be. Like when you think about it. Like you say, because we're so guilty of looking at opportunities and then molding that to fit our picture. But if we have a clear picture of what we want to do, then we can look around and say, okay, we can start to eliminate things because no, this doesn't fit into it because I know I'm going to want 4 bays rather than 2 right up at. Like really in your mind, clearly identifying what you're in, like what that first shop would look like. And then finding something that closely resembles it versus the looking at other shops and saying, could I make this work? And I think that's a thing that when I make a decision like that, that's what I'm really trying to visualize is what do I want? And then go look for that.
I like how you've done yours though. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like it is now.
No.
Now look at it and it's like, okay, he has all that property. That's exactly what I was thinking before I even came and looked at it. I'm like, this is what I really ultimately want, but I can settle for less for now. Because property out here to own it is, I don't know what it's like in Mobile, but it is millions here.
And I mean, look, I caught it in a good time, but I think that there's those opportunities. It's just figuring it out, exactly kind of the business. When you mentioned it earlier, the business plan. What's the business model look like?
Nick, I know we were talking about a couple little changes, like you said, all those things mounting up from the website. Is there anything? What are those first things that you guys are? Again, I know you guys aren't doing it necessarily tomorrow. What's that first thing you really want to sort of tackle? Is it really just finding that location? Is it hey, figuring out the new menu options? Are you going to be adding any other services because you are in shop?
I would add services. Yeah, I'm not sure what. I pretty much do a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They do that.
So.
Like paint chip repair, leather repair, stuff like that, where, I'm not out sweating dripping all over people's car while I'm trying to fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Paint on there.
Yeah.
But
so the opportunity is there for adding services. So when we think about pros and cons for mobile versus shop, we mentioned weather, we mentioned quality.
Right.
When I think about going, if you said tomorrow we're not mobile, we're shop, what does that do to your customer base? Is it a different customer base? I mean, are you?
Yeah. Some people are like, no, but we have some customers that are like, I don't give a shit. I'm coming to you. You can come get my vehicle. I can drop it off. I can sit there and wait. I'm like, first of all, I'm never going to have you wait.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I don't want you guys
You
waiting.
don't like them when they just look over your shoulder?
If I want to take 10, 15-minute breaks in a 5-hour period, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Dude,
as long as the car comes out looking the right way, they're going to be happy.
I'm going to answer the phone if I want.
Something about this week for us, we have had 2 sets of 2 people waiting on their vehicles, and it drives our shop crazy. And it's like they're told, get it right. Like we drop off in the morning, pick up in the evening. That's the way we work.
You guys are appointment only too, right?
Appointment only. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how we want to be too. Well, I want to be more private.
Twice this week, we've had 2 different people waiting on vehicles, and they're like lingering.
Where do they wait?
In the dressing room in the shop. Like they walk around, they walk to the Lucky's restaurant down the street, and or the Waffle House. Dude, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing.
It could get awkward, man, because they're like awkward. They're looking at their car, and the guys that are working on it are like, they keep looking at us.
So remove it. So you're inherently creating an issue when you come from mobile to shop, right? You're creating friction in the point of sale. So now we have to work a little harder to sell our service. Is that something that you're concerned about? And you say, man, right now I can call, like I can go to you and there's no problem. Like you know, it's never inconvenient for the customer.
For some, yeah, it's gonna look. I want to be bold. I really don't give a shit what other people think. It's not their business. It's not their life. It's not their imagination. They have nothing to do with anything that we do except that they hire us. Yes. And if it's going to create an inconvenience, you can't make everybody happy. That is not something I struggle with. I can't wait to have a shop and say, I'm going to be proud of that. And if they're going to be like, then you're not my customer anymore. And I'm sorry. Right. And I can give you to the next mobile guy that we're friends with.
Absolutely.
And it'll be like that. And that's what scares me is losing customers. I know in the beginning it's going to drop down.
It's going to happen.
But I want to be more predominant on the ceramic coating side because I'm killer at paint correction. I love coating cars, interior, exterior, everything, glass, wheels, whatever. And I want to get more jobs like that. You know what I'm saying? And then let someone else do the detailing stuff.
Go ahead.
When you have a shop, you weren't always mobile. You just recently in the last few years or year?
I'd say about 2 years. 2 years we've been adding. Yeah.
And you did that to what? Incentivize the maintenance on ceramic. Well, tell me what your thought process on opening up mobile.
Going in the opposite direction, right? Whenever we add an extension, whether it's PPF, ceramic, mobile, we want to do tint. We got some other stuff that we want to do. Anytime we add, right, we're trying to go ahead and let it grow organically, right? Mm-hmm. Work out those things that you don't know what you don't know, right? Hey, all these different things that you guys have been doing mobile for a little bit there. You guys have all that experience we have to learn and go through. I don't want us to go and say, hey, we're going to do a free mobile month, right? And let those customers
for the opening shop. Right?
No. You tiptoe.
We'll do
in.
one. Yeah. We'll have an event at the place and we'll have a raffle drawing, and that's how somebody's going to be lucky. They're going to get a coating. They're going to get this, whatever.
But in terms of trying to keep, again, that quality, right? Because when you want to add that mobile, you're now removing friction, right? Doing the opposite, removing friction. And now you have people, hey, guess what? This is much better than having to drop it off. And now I can do, I only have so much room. So now I can do more PPF and ceramic in shop when I have my van out doing cars. And that customer base is a different customer base.
Right. That brings something else up too. That's another thing. Before I'm a little uncomfortable about having a shop because I don't have enough monthly coatings consistently. Mm-hmm. Right. There'll be some months where I have enough, you know what I mean? And it could easily be well worth having a shop. And then there's other months like I've got 1 coating or 2 or maybe 3. And that's just not enough for me to justify in my mind that we're going to have a shop.
Well, I think sometimes you can't, the business doesn't happen before, like, so you don't
until you make the jump. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's
like,
another thing.
And
so I got that
work that way.
knocking in my head. Yeah. Exactly.
Because
it's in my head.
So think about it. The consistency of being in one location, the exposure of that location is you're gonna get more business than you are when you're going around. Yeah. So that inherently is going to pick up more business.
It's going to pick up more business.
Patience and knowing, hey, over time, right? Let's say you're doing 5, 10 coatings a month, whatever it is. Okay, well, next year you're going to be at 12 to 15.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's going to average the right way because of the quality.
Snowballs.
Yeah. It already is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Right now it's scary because it's December. This is like this last year. This was like this the year before that. Right now, like we've been off all week.
I got a big question here, Dustin. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I don't know if everybody knows. There's only 24 hours in the day, right? And you guys obviously have a team that you guys doing the mobiles. How are you guys going to add those extra hours, right? Because adding a shop, adding an extra service, adding it, right? You're going to need time outside of your business to be able to do what you want to do there in the shop. How are you guys going to add hours in the day? You know, and I say that, hypothetically, but anytime you're doing this, you got to make extra time.
Yeah, I mean,
here's the same way I've juggled having to deal with everything online.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it when I want. I know how to turn the switch on if I need to get motivated. Like I wake up and I'm not working today, and I have to look at something online to flip that switch and get me motivated. Shop would be the same thing. It's not a problem finding time. I can do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I've probably got 1,000 hours online in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I look at this and we have this conversation, I see like 3 different decision makers. Tommy wants the stars need to be aligned. He needs to see it all the way from completion to end, and his mind needs to have that confidence. Myself is like, I'm gonna pull the trigger, figure it out as when I get there.
As
Nick,
you go,
you're kind of that. You're probably like a hybrid. I think you're
in the
bit
middle,
of a planner, right? A bit of a planner, but not then
like I plan it. I'm a halfway planner, but if the gut says just go for it, then just go for it. You know what I mean?
The gut. That's the part. The gut.
Yeah. It's a big gut.
The gut tells me do it, and then there's like situations where I'm like, oh, I think of this, and like, oh shit, hold on a second.
And the bank tells me no.
Yeah. Hey, it only takes one yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. I tell you, I think I'm super excited to see your growth in this direction. I know that when you decide to make this decision, it's going to be phenomenal, and can't wait to see how you do it. And we want to keep up with the progress over as you start and get there.
Oh yeah.
Put the pressure on him, Dustin. Put the pressure on him.
I have no pressure. I have
do
none.
Do it.
No pressure.
Dustin's gonna call you in a month. You ready to come back on? We need pictures of the shop.
Yeah, man. We're gonna come down to the grand opening in January.
Oh shit! Awesome. That's pressure. Hey, I don't know how to let you guys down, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Thoughts, hey, it could happen by January. It could,
Oh, yeah, man. I think you got to once you kind of flip that switch in your mind and say we're doing it, I think that things happen very quickly. Final thoughts, Julia, Tommy, on like if another detailer's out there, kind of wondering shop to mobile, mobile to shop. Like any kind of final thoughts, things that you would tell them that they may want to look out for, and kind of things that are on y'all's mind.
I'd probably say the same thing that I would tell somebody who's just starting out. You need to have all your ducks in a row online.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you're still using a Google page as your website, I don't know. We got about 20 of those out here, and they all look the same, and you cannot decipher who's who. You got to have all that stuff in order first before you should do anything. But it's the same as. Yeah, it's the same as going from mobile to shop, or from shop and adding mobile or whatever. You better have something lined up ready to take care of that. You know what I'm saying? If not, then you're going to be like, I don't know, you're probably going to fall off. That's,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Business isn't easy, but if you go about it in the right way and with the, mindset that we're going to succeed no matter what, I think that you can fight through it. Nick, any final thoughts?
No, I'm just I'm excited for you guys. I think it's I chase that feeling. You know what I mean? Like that's all once, you know what I mean? Like I chase
Not a
what
good
you
goal
get.
if it don't scare the shit out of you, right?
Oh my God, it's not. No.
Absolutely. That's it.
I chase that 110% in
I do.
life, in
Yeah.
business. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it fun, man. You know what I mean? That's what really makes it enjoyable. The money
Yeah,
follows it, you know.
I think it's what makes us all tick, you know, that the uncertainty at times. And I think you have to, you know, when you embrace that and say, I'm not gonna have every bit of it figured out, I'm gonna kind of take this risk, and it's a calculated risk,
You gotta
and
kind of be a warrior.
Just give me a good couple good sleepless nights. You know, that's what it's about.
A couple.
It's the shower thoughts for me. Like, give me a good shower at 4:30 a.m. and problems to solve, and I'm solving those problems. Tommy, Julia, awesome talking to you guys. Appreciate you jumping on. And I'm telling you, I know that you probably have cleared things up for some detailers that are trying to make that decision, because they're probably saying like, holy shit, there's more I need to think about than what I was. So appreciate you guys as always.
Or, hey, I'm not alone out here. Like, there's actually somebody else feeling the same way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's good to talk about this. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys at Mobile Tech. You guys will be on the podcast there for sure, and helping us out there in the booth. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Love y'all, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. All right, Nick. Nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you.
See you, Dustin.
See you, brother. See you.
God, that was fun.
That's awesome, dude.
That
it's so cool to see them.
Good, genuine people there. Just,
and it's raw. It's raw emotion. You can tell it's not like they have. I mean, dude, you can feel.
I want them to take the jump. I want to, you know what I mean? I'm excited for him now. I'm like, let's go get it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I know. That's what.
If we throw their link again, they've got a great website. You go check out their, like, they do a really good work. You know,
and look, Tommy does all that himself. He built that. He built that website.
That's wild. Yeah, I absolutely. Again, I blows ours out of the water,
man. Yeah, same here. Same here, man. He's they're great people. And again, if you're, here's one thing that I think that we all gotta just understand though, is don't feel like there's so much to do that you don't do anything. I'm telling myself that as I'm telling everyone else.
No, you were hitting those taglines. What paralysis by analysis? You were hitting those. You were hitting those skirts. Those like.
We need tagline by D time. That's what it needs to be. But listen, I'm serious. I'm telling myself that as much as I'm telling everybody else. When you feel overwhelmed, you're making big decisions, you got things going on. Things are always going to need to be decided. There's always something big going to be going on. Put one foot in front of the other. Try to get some progress going. Take a chance. Take a leap of faith. Just know that you got yourselves to this point and you ain't died yet. You're probably going to be okay no matter which way you go.
I don't know if you got to go that extreme there, but
I mean, sometimes it feels like that, do or die. Sometimes if you don't know, and it feels do or die, man.
But you know what's funny is the stuff that you would be stressed about 5-10 years ago, they're nothing now. So that's the biggest thing.
Pay for those stresses,
right? But you know what I mean? Like they're just words coming from me and coming from you. But it's so real, because then they're gonna. Any detailer that's out there that's stressed out about, man, what soap should I be using? Or, you know what I mean? The little stuff that could really keep you up. Or, man, I'm slow this week, but I was really busy last week, and they're worried about the now versus the future. There's so many of those little problems that I promise are going to work themselves out as long as you take care of you.
And guess what? There's going to be another set of problems right behind that. So
you
never
don't be.
But it's okay. That's what I'm saying. Like that, those problems aren't end all be all. Solve what you can. Prioritize, have fun while doing it, smile a little bit along the way. Just know that Storytime with Nick is going to be around every Friday, and that should make you feel better.
Hopefully, they're good stories. They're good stories.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Great podcast with some very good friends of mine. Nick, I appreciate you as always and your input. I think that it's extremely valuable to everyone to hear kind of your take on it. And great show, man.
Let's get ready for next week. Get ready. Let's buckle in. Let's have a good week, guys. Have a great weekend.
See you guys in 7 days.